So, gamers, we're here for episode number 49 of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. And he refuses to accept any of this nonsense.
I refuse to accept any of this nonsense.
In the last episode, we figured out that his name's actually Milverton, and he's probably the guy that did it. I feel like it was him. Sir, there appears to be blood seeping through the sleeve of your jacket. Damn.
What?
2 nights ago, we know that 3 shots were fired at the scene of the crime in Windibank's pawnbrokery. 1 took the life of the pawnbroker himself. 1 struck the pouch around Mr. Sholmes' waist. And the final bullet struck the calendar on the wall of the shop, having first pierced the arm of one of the intruders. Mr. Graydon, that wound in your arm that you seem to be trying to hide. It's a bullet wound, isn't it? We're getting so close to the end, by the way.
He's got chin at me, old China. Time to call it quits and crack, I reckon.
Don't acknowledge my presence there under any circumstances whatsoever. Those are my terms, remember? And I paid you handsomely to comply. Clearly I was a fool to think I could trust some common backslum thieves. Oh. Fine, I admit it. I was there in Windibanks that night. I paid this pair 10 guineas to accompany me. And as you've noticed, I sustained an injury in the course of my adventures.
You should.
But that is all. I admit to nothing more. Stealing government secrets, negotiating with Mr. McGilded. Cha. As God is my witness, I'm sure I recall nothing of the sort.
He's not going to go down without a fight. Not until I can show some hard evidence, I suppose. Nevertheless, the defense has now established a crucial fact. Which is... Well, we know that 1 bullet was fired from each of the 2 firearms we have in evidence. The bullet around the Skulkin Brothers the bullet from the Skulkin Brothers gun hit the pouch around Mr. Sholmes' waist. And the bullet from Mr. Windibank's gun clearly must have been the one that caught Mr. Graydon on the arm.
Indeed it must. We can rule out the possibility that the man shot himself.
And that leads us to only one conclusion. Mr. Windibank was shot by a 3rd gun, which could only have been fired by the 3rd intruder.
Goodness!
That's right, Mr. Graydon. The only person who could possibly have shot Mr. Windibank that night is you! Again, he's not pointing at him. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that?
Hold it. You little upstart! You made a grave mistake when you summoned me here.
What? What's that supposed to mean?
Yes, as you rightly say, I was there at the pawnbrokers. I did my best to hide the fact, naturally. I had no intention of ruining the distinguished career I'd built for myself at the communications station. But did the thought never cross your mind? Did you never consider the possibility?
What do you mean? What thought? What possibility?
The possibility that if I was there at the scene, I may have witnessed the crucial moment. You see... This makes me a key witness in this case, and I have my hands firmly around the neck of your client.
What?
Are you suggesting?
I saw it all. I saw the very moment that pickpocket girl pointed out that gun at that poor defenseless pawnbroker and shot him.
You... What? Bro just said, oh, you think it's me? Actually, it's her. No, it's her, and she's on trial right now.
Order! Well, it would seem that we're finally entering the last act of this theatrical trial.
Mr. Graydon.
Yes?
I trust you're fully aware of the implications here. If it's shown that your claim is false,
you will have incriminated yourself as a killer. Oh, I understand fully.
Then I'm must ask you to give your formal testimony once more. You'll explain to the court precisely what you saw at the moment the defendant allegedly shot the victim.
Nothing would give me greater pleasure.
Alright, hold on. I have to press every single statement. Every single statement. And the last one I pursue Nash. Seems like there's gonna be a lot of dialogue, so strap in. Normally I'd skip, but I think this is relevant to the plot.
While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still near the entrance to the shop. When Winterbank threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though. The accused in a black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety.
Wait, say what? The accused in a black coat? He could not possibly be talking about Gina.
I saw the blood splatter all over that wretched girl. Then she tossed the gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape.
Good gracious! This is quite extraordinary testimony.
I want you to know, though, I did read a little bit ahead. I did read a little bit. Just a little bit. And something in there is actually hilarious. But, we don't know that it's funny yet.
You, sir, you claim, sir, under oath, to have clearly seen the defendant pulling the trigger.
It's actually kind of nuts.
Oh, no!
It wasn't my intention to testify this way. But neither is it my intention to be found guilty of a murder I didn't commit. So you see, my hand has been forced. I tell the truth now as an act of self-preservation.
The truth?
Until now, the prosecution was completely unaware of these details. Yes, well, sorry about that. Having shot me in the arm, the pawnbroker was then shot in the back by the accused. And as I said, she was showered in his blood. You say the blood splattered over the accused's coat. Are you sure on that point? Oh yes, quite sure. All over the black overcoat that pickpocket girl was wearing at the time.
Really? If a coat somehow could be shown to harbor vestiges of blood, that would be conclusive evidence here.
It can, but...
Such
an investigation is possible, my lord.
What?
Only very recently, a German scientist had developed a technique to identify human blood. So here's to true science, not some amateurish detective's dubious foray into the world of chemistry.
There's nothing dubious about Hurley's work. His ideas are all sound.
Ideas are no use to us here. In science, as in law, theories must be proven before they stand. In Germany, the technique has already been employed in the courtroom as the basis of evidence. Scotland Yard has a small quantity of the chemical reagent used. With your lordship's permission, we could shatter all vestiges of doubt all vestiges of doubt within minutes.
This doesn't look good, Bruno.
Why not?
Well, we know, don't we, that there's blood all over the front of Ginny's coat. If they tested with their chemicals...
Oh, help, you're right! Yeah, we were there. Yeah, we know all that. The fact that we're like 9 minutes in and we haven't even gotten to his actual fucking testimony is kind of nuts. It's kind of crazy. Wait, what the fuck did we just say? My lord, the defense objects to the test proposed by the prosecution.
Overruled! Lord von Six, make it so at once!
With pleasure, my lord.
And while we await the results, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination.
As they find the blood on that coat, Gina will be...
Counter!
Yes, my lord.
To cross-examination!
Of course, my lord. This cross-examination doesn't go well. If I don't manage to uncover some decisive evidence or a really compelling clue now, I have a really bad feeling about the outcome of this trial. And of course, now we have to fucking cross-examine every single fuck-ass thing he says. All 6 statements. Honestly, you know what? I'm gonna pause. I don't need to do this part. I'll be right back. Alright, here we go. No, fuck! God damn! Alright, there we go. I got it now. Did I hear you correctly? She threw the gun out of the room.
That's right. After the Brooker fell to the floor, she started walking over.
Over where exactly?
In the direction of the storeroom door, to where I was watching. Of course, I quickly retreated, and then the girl dropped the gun through the peephole onto the floor on my side of the door.
But why on earth would she do such a thing?
I couldn't tell you. Perhaps she was hoping to distance herself from the murder weapon. Without thinking, I went and picked it up. I suppose I was worried about just leaving it there in case any more tragedies took place.
So it was you, in fact, who took the 3rd gun from the scene of the crime?
Yes, it was yours truly. I left the clear up to my lackeys and all, and left.
Clear up?
He may have a bit of a mess around the counter, said Mr. Wilson if he told us here to tidy up. He thinks he's not blaming him up sometimes.
Well, I was paying you enough, by God.
Ugh.
Tell me, Mr. Creighton, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with the 2nd disc in your jacket pocket?
You little toe rag!
Wait.
Excuse me!
Pursue him here? Gentlemen. Shamrock, sunshine. That should be my line. You do realize you were just violently shaking Mr. Skulkin.
Oh, but he stays a bit of overkin, ain't he?
What's going on just now?
You saw him, he grabbed me with him. What a blazes, he said. Didn't you mention the 3rd gun when we got you down the station?
And why didn't you?
Cause we didn't know nothing about it, all that flaming paper on the door.
Sorry about that. I can be proud of losing my rag sometimes, not hurt, are you?
God blimey, see the way he's looking at me? I tell ya, this tea gives me the willies.
That was strange. The inspector doesn't normally get quite as worked up as that. He wouldn't normally grab someone.
No, that doesn't like Rexy at all. He's normally very sweet and light, no matter what I say to him.
Yeah, well, I think you might be a special case, Iris.
But anyway, that was definitely out of character.
Something's up with him.
My lord! Requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination.
Explain yourself, officer.
I may have the results of that test that was ordered earlier, my lord.
The blood on the accused's overcoat. Okay, wait, do I need to do anything between now and this? Okay, I think I'm good. So I just wanted to make sure I had it ready.
Thank you, officer. Very well, the cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel?
No, my lord.
Well, there you have it.
The report, please, Inspector.
Yes, sir. Traces of human blood were found on the overcoated defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. From the extent of exchange, it appeared they were a splattering following a gunshot wound. End of report.
Goodness me!
Oh, we're cooked.
See? What did I tell you?
Objection! No, the blood in that coat is not Mr. Windibank's.
What on earth makes you say that, counsel?
The coat originally belonged to Magnus McGilded. Just before his coat was deposited at Windibank's, McGilded had fatally stabbed Mr. Mason Milverton. So the blood on that overcoat is the blood of the brickmaker from the omnibus case. Objection. Well, the dead cannot speak, isn't that right, my Nipponese friend? Sorry? 2 months ago in this very courtroom, did you not argue fervently for Mr. McGilded's innocence? And yet now that the man is dead, you brand him as a murderer? Your conduct shatters any shred of respect you may have earned yourself in this country. But that was... I call it a bully disgrace. Treachery, that's what it is.
I determined whether the blood of that cut's too much on or not. Even stereoscope could not answer that. Press them pop and pop out. It can't be done. But please, Mr. Shaw, Major Sharp's a detective, not a chemist.
Why would you put such faith in a chemical formula devised by... Would you put such faith in a chemical formula devised by me, for example, when I'm a communications officer?
I held out Broski to starving boy, and he ran away crying.
Herlock Sholmes is barely more than a figment of the public's imagination. His name carries no weight in this courtroom. No weight at all. How could you say that?
Victory is sweet indeed. And this proves that my testimony is the whole truth from start to finish.
How do you arrive at such a conclusion, sir?
As the witness said, the accused coat was splattered with the blood of the victim. The only way Mr. Creighton could possibly have known that fact is if he saw it happen. In other words, his testimony is solid and the conclusion is singular. It was the accused who shot the victim in this case. That is the whole truth.
My lord! Been a long bout this one, but his old warhorse has something to say now, if you please.
Mr. Foreman?
As of this moment, sir, the squadron's reached its final decision. Ready, men? All for one now.
Sir!
Guilty.
Guilty.
Gosh, she's such a bad bitch. She's such a bad bitch.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Alright, well, time for summation examination round 3. It's been very fun, y'all. Looking forward to another one.
Well, the ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached a unanimous decision, or a unanimous verdict.
Can I read and stop us guessing what they're going to say?
The defense has consistently failed to unpick this witness's testimony. Here's to any attempt you may make at unpicking the jurors' decisions being equally successful.
I don't believe it. After I've come so far, how is it all unraveling on me so fast? What do? Summation examination round 3. Y'all ready?
How very distressing to be held in such low esteem.
Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruto?
Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruto? Officer, you've delivered the report now. That will be all, thank you. It occurs to me, with some regularity, Mr. Naruto, that scientific truths are determined not by science, but by none other than the human mind.
I know that voice. Am I going mad? Ah! Hey yo, my boy, Mr. Sholmes! What is the meaning of this?
What business do you have here, detective? The last I heard, you were recuperating in hospital.
As well I would be had I not been set upon an errand.
What errand?
Hurley, it's really you! You're awake at last! Yes, good day, Iris. I appear to be rather late to rise. My apologies. Now, my lord, if you will humour me. In what manner, sir? I have something of great importance I wish to give the young lawyer over there. I need no more than 5 minutes. Would you be so kind as to spare us the time? What say you to this, Lord Van Zieks?
This trial has taken many hours of the court's time, having spent so long already.
Exactly, having spent so much time already, we don't want to go wasting any more precious time.
As I was saying, having spent so long already, it would seem churlish to deny the defense a mere 5 minutes.
Very well then, Hansel, you have 5 minutes.
My dear fellow, I apologise for my tardy arrival. Mr. Sholmes, are you alright now? Alright, I'm all wrong. Sorry? I've only just managed to summon the strength to stand, man. I asked the judge for 5 minutes. But I fear even that may prove too much for me. Pray forgive me, should I pass out? Let's make this discussion as short as possible.
Hurley, this place is full of idiots. None of them can see how wonderful your chemical blood analysis is.
Ah, well, that concoction of mine was really just a bit of sport to assist me in my investigations. I never took the trouble to refine it for appraisal by the scientific community, an oversight on my part.
Right, modesty, surely not.
But enough of that! I'm here to give you this, my dear fellow.
What's that, a lavender furoshiki wrapping?
A leaving present from Miss Suzotto.
From Miss Susato?
If possible, matters were to be settled without me giving you this. Those were her instructions when she asked me to do her this favour.
I don't understand.
Miss Suzotto foresaw today's events, I believe. She knew the culprit would attempt to escape justice by means both devious and underhand. And that you, Mr. Naruhodo, fighting fairly as you are wont to do, would find yourself in considerable peril. At that very moment of crisis, you were to be given this small parcel. Those were the dear lady's instructions.
A leaving present from Susato-san, whatever could it be? What is this?
Oh, it's the machine I need.
The cat flatomat. Or flatomat, I don't know. Cat flapomat.
Look, I used this. It's my latest invention.
What is that?
I call it the cat flapomat. You can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Wacky in seconds. What's Susie up to? Mrs. Otto muttered the following words before she left. I'm a failure. I don't deserve to be a judicial assistant.
What? Didn't she say something like that? Did she? You really are one of the best judicial assistants in the world. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world.
Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure.
It's tough. Whatever did she mean by that, Mr. Sholmes?
That night when you left Winterbanks in pursuit of the thieves, Miss Suzotto made use of this contraption for a certain purpose. That's your answer, my dear fellow.
Not cryptic at all then. Susato-san used this cat flapomat that night, but why? Your 5 minutes is over. Oh, we're out of time already?
I'm grateful to you for affording us that brief recess, Mr. Reaper.
I need no thanks, Detective. After all, the die is cast.
Is it really?
The jurors are unanimous in their leanings. No doubt my learned friend will consider a summation examination. But any attempt to alter the verdict now would be utterly futile.
I wonder. Mr. Naruhodo!
Yes?
The rest is down to you, dear fellow. What is your plan?
The rest is down to me. I need to be careful here. If I make a wrong move, the trial will end badly. My lord, the defense requests further cross-examination. Further cross-examination. Objection. The jurors have spoken. Protocol dictates that you may not cross-examine a new witness now. The defense is not asking for the cross-examination of a new witness, rather to continue with one of an existing witness. What?
It would appear that a rather important detail has escaped your attention, Mr. Reaper. My lord.
Wait, what the fuck did you just say? Oh, requesting to interrupt the cross-examination. It's been suspended. Oh.
So nobody can say anything then, if Runo has to resume his cross-examination of Mr. Creedon. The court is obliged to allow it.
This is absurd.
I would remind those present that this is my courtroom. I concur that the defense is entirely within its rights to request the continuation of the cross-examination. However, I will not permit an unremitting protraction of these proceedings. Therefore, I have decided to afford the defense one final opportunity in concluding the cross-examination. Counsel, you must choose but one statement from the witness's testimony, and but one piece of evidence to present in support of your argument against it.
A single chance to present evidence.
If, following that, the situation remains unchanged, I shall move to adjudication. Is that clear, counsels? You will not press the witness any further.
My lord. Yes, my lord.
A single statement, a single piece of evidence. Most generous. Well then, Mr. Norhano, it's high time I fell dead in a faint. I leave this in your capable hands.
Mr. Sholmes!
Is he good? Is he okay? I don't know. I didn't read in the walkthrough. I have no idea. To stand so insistently before the court in a state of such high fever, either the man has extraordinary strength of mind or an extraordinary lack of feeling.
I imagine he's feeling very little now. The detective is sleeping soundly in one of the antechambers. Strike a man when he's down, why don't you?
Well then, counsel, are you fully prepared?
Yes. One statement, one piece of evidence. I won't let Mr. Sholmes down now. Or Iris. And I won't waste this final chance Suzato-san has given me. This is going to decide the entire outcome of the trial.
Very well then, under the terms I've outlined, you may resume the cross-examination.
Alright. It's time. It's actually fucking time. So what do I want to do it on? Right here. I want to present my cat flap-o-mat right here.
Objection!
Objection.
What on earth is that eccentric contraption, counsel?
Oh, it's my cat Flapperman, my lord. It makes a way for cats to get in and out of a room. It can cut through any door you can think of and make a new little door in the middle of it.
That's right, my lord. It's a device for creating so-called cat flaps. Small doors for cat. I'm sure we can all work that out for ourselves.
Oh,
But that cat lover's contrivance has no possible relevance in this case.
Oh, really?
Of course it doesn't. To start with, there was no cat flap in the pawnbroker's door.
Not being a keeper of cats myself, I'm afraid I see to see what this has to do with the matter at hand.
Perhaps it would help if I described its function another way, then. This contraption is able to create a peephole in any door you can imagine in practically no time at all.
I beg your pardon? A peephole, you say?
2 nights ago, we arrived at the scene only minutes after the murder of Mr. Winterbank had taken place. That's right, according to paperwork at the yard, it was you, your Japanese assistant, and Sholmes. Yes, 3 of us were together, and it's recently come to my attention that my assistant made use of this device at the time.
Your assistant did what?
There was a peephole in the storeroom door, I can attest to that. Because I looked through the peephole myself in order to see inside the locked storeroom.
This is ludicrous. What are you trying to say? Of course there was a peephole in the door. I said as much in my testimony. How else could I have witnessed the crime, for pity's sake?
Yes, how could you?
What?
Counsel, kindly say what you mean.
Alright, it's time. Time to strike try to strike the final blow. What I mean is this, my lord. My assistant made the peephole in the storeroom door, and until such time as she did, the door had no hole to look through.
What? No!
Are we good?
Objection!
This is a farce. Are you really suggesting the peephole in the door was...
Yes, it was created only after the incident had taken place, by my judicial assistant using this device.
Your assistant tampered with the crime scene whilst being fully aware of the gravity of her actions. That is a most serious act of vandalism.
For which I humbly apologize, my lord. It was in the few minutes that I had left the scene in order to pursue the Skulkin brothers and alert the police. Nevertheless, in light of this new information, it becomes apparent that Mr. Graydon's testimony is riddled with holes.
Riddled with... Explain yourself, counsel!
The majority of Mr. Graydon's testimony that appears to incriminate the defendant is based on what he witnessed through the peephole in the storeroom door.
Yes, that filthy girl shooting the man in the back.
However, if at the time of the incident that people did not exist in the door, there's no possible way that you could have seen what you claim to have seen. In short, your entire testimony is packed of lies. Ugh. That's crazy.
Order! Is there any credence in this revelation?
Yeah, I think we'll find out in the final episode tomorrow. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!